Over recent years, with the introduction of conservation tillage and zero tillage farming, we've got a situation where there's lots of food and lots of shelter in the system, and they're really favourable conditions for mice. Mice start breeding when they're 6 weeks old, and they can have a litter of 8 to 10 babies every 19 to 21 days after that. The real kicker is that they don't wait to rear that litter. They fall pregnant straight away after they've given birth. And so while they're rearing one litter, they're gestating the next one, so it's just constant production of offspring. If conditions are favourable through the summer, they continue to breed until they're at peak numbers in the autumn when farmers are sowing their crop. And that's the worst scenario that we could possibly imagine, because if there are high numbers at sowing, that means damage to the freshly sown seeds. So farmers really only have one tool available to them, and that's zinc phosphide spread at 1 kilogram per hectare. There are some really important issues around spreading zinc phosphide, and it's all about getting the grain with zinc phosphide on it on the ground in a uniform manner so that mice have the best possible chance of discovering a lethal dose. It's really important that farmers understand that with the tool that they've got, they need to reduce the amount of background food that's available to mice, and that increases the probability of a mouse discovering a lethal dose. So once you're at about 40 kilos per hectare of background food, which is almost nothing, then we're down around 70% efficacy with the bait. And once you get to 100 kilos, it's dropped significantly again to around 50%. We see that work as incredibly important, not just because we're out there telling farmers what we know, but it provides us with the opportunity to listen to farmers, for them to tell us the issues that they're facing, and that really helps us focus the attention of our research on issues that are real for farmers. We get stories about the effectiveness of the bait. We're putting the bait out and it doesn't work, and that helped us to ask some really poignant questions about the bait and its toxicity and the best scenarios under which to spread it.
We've got 15 case studies spread nationally. The great thing about the case studies is they gave us some insight as to how growers are actually applying bait at this point in time. The importance of spreading bait comes down to efficacy. An important part of that is to actually get the bait in front of them, so the probability of encounter is high and that we do get an effective kill. So getting the bait across the paddock uniformly is really important. So we've gotten a range of bait spreading options, so some ground-based spreading options, so smaller 12-volt spinner style spreaders, and also had a look at some aerial application. We've taken those spreading options, developed a test protocol, looked at how we can actually measure the bait placement across the paddock and run those spinners across a set of mats in this case that we've come up with to actually capture the bait so we can go and measure it and analyse the placement of that bait within the paddock. GRDC website is the place to go for all of that, and if people wanted to then measure the performance of their spreader, they can replicate the testing that we've done.